الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى. يا ربي لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله، بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الله به الغمة وجاهد في سبيل ربه حتى أتاه اليقين. اللهم اجزه عنا وعن والدينا وعن الإسلام والمسلمين خير ما جزيت به نبيا عن قومه ورسولا عن أمته. اللهم أحينا على سنته وتوفنا على ملته وأوردنا حوضه واسقنا من يده الشريفة شربة هنيئة لا نظمأ بعدها أبدا. ثم أما بعد, my dear respected brothers and sisters, we are so delighted that Ramadan is few days away from us. The dua of the Sahaba and the righteous people of this ummah when the month of Rajab comes is Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. Ya Allah, allow us to reach the month of Ramadan and to fast during the month of Ramadan. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us all experience another beautiful Ramadan. Ramadan is the month of happiness and joy. I can feel and see this joy within our community. Although it's the month of fasting and praying and giving, but this is where we find our happiness, our joy, when we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we reconcile ourselves with our Lord and Creator, and when we connect ourselves with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, we need to think of the month of Ramadan as a great opportunity to achieve two things, two R's. The first R is reward, and the second R is reform. Obviously, the month of Ramadan is the time when we can collect as many rewards as possible. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us that during the month of Ramadan, the reward will be multiplied. If you make one nafil or sunnah or extra, then this will count as you'll get the reward of a fard. And when you do fard, you'll get the reward of 70 fard. The dua is special in Ramadan. The sadaqah is special in Ramadan. Fasting is very special in Ramadan. Reading Quran is special in Ramadan. So Ramadan obviously is the month of collecting rewards. During this month, the gates of Jannah will open up. The gates of the hellfire will close down. As some ulama interpret this as that the good deeds that leads to the gates of Jannah are so widely open, and the gates that lead to the hellfire, the sins and disobedience, will be closed down. So that is also another way to look at the month of Ramadan. It's not just the quantity of the a'mal we do, but also we need to think about the results, the fruits of this a'mal, the fruits of these good deeds. The month of Ramadan is the month of reform. We need to think from now how to prepare for the month of Ramadan, what kind of good deeds we want to do, but we also need to think of Ramadan as a training camp. It is a time when we train ourselves to make some of the good deeds as part of our schedule, as part of our routine. As some successful people will ask about giving tips about regarding success in life, and he said one word: consistency. Consistency is so important. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was, always told us that we need to be consistent in what we do, even if it was little. In the hadith, he says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Ahabbul a'mali ila Allahi adwamuha wa in qal." The most beloved deeds to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those who are done continuously, consistently, even if they are little. Even if they are little. It's not the amount of the deeds, rather the intention and consistency, because this is how we change our behavior. This is how we change our behavior. You just think of one thing that you want to be consistent with, even so little that you cannot miss, you cannot be too lazy to do. And that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us about the importance of being consistent. We know that we don't pray after Asr. Let's establish that. Between Asr and Maghrib, we don't pray Nafil. But one day, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came back to his home after Asr prayer, and he prayed 2 rakahs, and he was asked, "Ya Rasulullah, what kind of prayer is this? You told us not to pray after Asr." And he said that this is the two nafil prayer I used to pray after dhuhr, but because these people came to me and I was so busy with them and I missed it, and I don't like to miss these 2 rakats. Something that we sometimes take very lightly. So what? It is sunnah, it is nafil, it is, not going to be punished. But here Rasulullah ﷺ prayed in this time. Of course, that was not his habit, but in this particular day, he was too busy with people who came asking him questions. And he missed these 2 rakats, and he said, I dislike to miss these 2 rakats, because he wants ﷺ this to be consistent, to pray these prayers consistently. In another hadith, he said to Abdullah ibn Umar, hadith in Bukhari, he said, Ya Abdullah, Abdullah the son of Umar, do not be like so and so. He used to pray qiyam and he abandoned qiyam. Don't be like him. Nobody told him you have to pray qiyam. Qiyam is nafil, is extra. No. But he took it upon himself to pray qiyam, and then he stopped. He gave up. He quit it. And Islam tells us, don't quit. Don't give up. Keep going. Keep trying. Yes, sometimes we feel we are so energetic, and sometimes we feel we are down. But you have to set this threshold. Some good deed that you cannot give up. If you want to lose weight, if you want to be healthy, if you want to have a good heart, if you want to, have lower cholesterol, if you want to study a new language, if you want to get a degree, if you want to do anything, you need to be consistent. Tell yourself that I'll just do it for 5 minutes, only 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes. I will make push-up every morning, 20 times at least, or more if I can. For just 2 minutes, push up. Start. Keep it consistent. And you will see the result later on. What happens is that sometimes we get so enthusiastic, so energetic, and we want to do everything in the world. And Rasulullah tells us that take it easy. Take from the a'mal what you can do. One day he saw a rope in his masjid, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, what is this? They said, this is for Zainab radiallahu anha, that she prays qiyam, and when she's so tired, she reclines on this rope, so they can pray more. He said, no, take it away. Don't do that. Don't be extreme. Pray as much as you can. If you are so tired, sleep. Go and sleep. Exaggeration, anything is not good, even in ibadah. If you are tired or asleep. And he said, when you wake up for qiyam and you pray and you don't know what you're saying, go and sleep. Because you may want to make dua for yourself, and you make dua against yourself, because you are almost intoxicated. You are not in your full mental ability. Don't go that far. Rather, even if you choose to do something small and be consistent in it, you'll be successful. You see the result long term. Islam is a very, very practical religion. And Rasulullah ﷺ was the best in this. When asked Aisha radiallahu anha, did the Prophet ﷺ did some good deeds in some days? And she said, no, but كان عمله ديما. His act, his good deeds was dima, means continuous. He keeps it. He keeps it all the time. And this is something we need to think about. We need to think now, I do something for 30 days. I change my sleeping schedule or eating schedule. I change my prayer schedule. It comes to nafil and qiyam. I pray qiyam every night. And for those who cannot pray qiyam or taraweeh in the masjid, I understand that some have to wake up very early in the morning and their schedule is so busy, students and so on. If you cannot come to the masjid to pray qiyam, take it upon yourself. Say, I will not sleep. I will not miss qiyam in any night, no matter what, no matter how tired I am. I want to keep this as a habit. And take this, the hope is to take this with us after Ramadan. If you do something for 30 days, believe me, you can do it all year long. All year long. If you think you eat too much, this is the time to decide, you know what, I'm going to eat this amount of food, I'm not going to add anything more. If you think that you sleep too much, this is time for you to say, now I'm going to sleep only the right amount, I'm not going to sleep anymore. If you think you waste so much time watching TV, chatting with people and so on, say this is the month when I will train myself to take advantage of every moment of my life, because life is short. The month of Ramadan is a great gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Teach us to be consistent and to be mindful of our priorities. What are our priorities? Why are we here on this earth? What is the purpose of life? And what should we expect next? Ramadan is such an amazing gift that helps us just to think, pause, think. It's something that we need to do in our life, because sometimes we get burned out. Doing the same thing every day, more pressure, more responsibilities and commitments, and sometimes we burn out. We lose all our energy. We lose interest in everything. Or we become extreme in working or in studying or doing this or that, and we lose this balance. Our priorities are not well set. Ramadan is the time to push the reset button. I want to reset myself. I need to make my priorities clear. I want to train myself to do this or that. That's the essence of fasting. That's the essence of the concept of fasting, is to say to yourself no. To resist what you like and to push yourself to do what you don't like. The right thing, I mean. Do the right thing even if you don't like it, or resist the good things even if you love it. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed fasting for all nations, not only for us. In one of my classes I was talking about fasting and one of the pillars of Islam, and I also asked students coming from different religious backgrounds, and I learn from my students when they tell me what they do. And a Catholic student told me that during the days of fasting, which will end soon, that everybody choose something that's very dear to him or her. And they decided to give it up for the sake of Allah. And for the sake of being able to control their own desires. Technically this fasting is different from our fasting, but the essence is the same. Both want to achieve the same goal, is to be in control. To have this kind of awareness of your goals and objectives, what you want to achieve in this life and the life after. Not only to pray as much or make so many khatm al-Quran, which is important. I'm not saying we should not do that. But getting thawab and ajr is one thing, and to reform ourselves is something else. And I think we need to focus on both. We need to do righteous good deeds with the mindset that these good deeds is prescribed for us to achieve higher purpose. That is to reform ourselves, to be good servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to free ourselves from the shackles of materialism that everybody is in prison in. To be free, to have one God only, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, not to worship money and wealth and career and fame. Because people are not free. They think they are free, but they're not free. So when we fast with this intention, we want to be only the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to free ourselves from all these false needs. Rasulullah says, Ta'isa Abdul Khamisa, Ta'isa Abdul Qatifa, Ta'isa Abdul Dinar, Ta'isa Abdul, may he perish, the slave of dinar or dirham or dollar now, the slave of the nice clothes, may he perish. People say, I am the servant of Allah, I'm Abdullah. Imam Ghazali said that many people say, well, Abdullah, but they are not. They are abd of their own wills and desires. Because they are willing to do anything to satisfy these desires. When desires are in control, we are the big losers. And when we are in control, then this would lead us to success. It's like, riding a horse. And this horse, you have full control of this horse. You train this horse to stop when you want to stop, to turn right when you want him to turn right, or turn left, or to run faster. And when this horse is obedient horse, then you can go wherever you want. Because you are in control. Think of your desires like a horse that can be very rebellious and runs right and left and speed up sometimes and stops sometimes. When you want him to speed, he stops. When you want him to stop, he speeds. You are not in control. He is in control. You are not, directing him. He is directing you. You will suffer the decision made by him. And Ramadan comes to tell us that be in control. You need to tell yourself, no, stop here. And this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam called the major jihad. The major jihad is the jihad you practice against your own self. To tell yourself, yes, I know you desire this, but I'm not going to do it. I know that you hate this, but I will push you to do it. I am in control. Physical trainers used to, they always say that, mind over body. Sometimes when you do exercise, you think, khalas, I cannot do this anymore. And when you do it in a group, a trainer says, no, just let your mind control your body. Don't let your body control your mind. It absolutely works. It is what's in your mind, not your body. So are we in control? Or it's our desires that's in control? And we need to take this value with us after Ramadan, not only during Ramadan. When we can do what we desire, but we tell ourselves, no, wait. You'll do it, but in the right time, when the sun sets. You have to wait. We don't even think so much about it. While we are fasting, we don't think so much about fasting. About food. Although we desire food, but we don't even think about it. Because we know, we made a decision. Well, I'm not going to eat until the sun sets. So now my mind is free to do so many other things. But the problem is that when we are occupied, our minds are occupied with these ideas. I want to do this, I want to eat that, I want to enjoy this and that. Then we lose our energy, we lose our focus. We are not in control, and our life will just pass by and we're not achieving anything. And people will come on the day of judgment complaining, I just needed 2 more years. I died so early. I died so young. I was not ready to go. Ramadan comes to tell us that you need to get yourself ready, because you don't know when you are going. You don't know when you are going. Be ready. So brothers and sisters, again, Ramadan is coming, and we're so happy. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to worship Him as He wants, as He pleases. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all our good deeds and to make our niyyah pure, that all our deeds are made only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we also need to think about what's after Ramadan. Ramadan is a training camp. If you want to build muscles, then you have to work hard. You have to go to the gym, right? You have to watch what you eat, right? And it's not going to happen overnight. To build muscles, it's not going to happen overnight. To see the 6 abs, it's not going to happen overnight, right? All trainers know that. It takes time, but you have to be mindful. You have to have a plan. I want to achieve this. It will take 4 to 6 months, but you have to watch what you eat and exercise, vitamins, whatever. You have to have a plan, and then you will see the result. The law of causality. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made things work based on certain laws. If you understand these laws, follow it, you can do it. But you have to be mindful. You have to get your mind set that I can do this. I want to do this. I can do this. I will do this by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the willpower that you can find millions of lectures on YouTube about building willpower. I remember Muhammad Ali when he said that I hate every second I spend in the gym. That's the greatest boxer, perhaps of all times. The most famous person, he was the most famous person on earth. One of the most successful people in his career. He said, I hate every second in the gym. Because you see him playing 12 rounds, but you don't see what did he do to be qualified to go in the ring. Hours and hours of very hard work. Very hard working. Those who win Olympic golden medals, again, you may see them running for a few seconds, right? 10 seconds. And he wins. But before winning these 10 seconds, he had to put hundreds and hundreds of hundreds of hours of hard working, training, to be able to make such achievement. This is how it works. But going from 0 to 100, it's likely to go from 100 to 0 again, quickly. This is what happens. That's why Rasulullah ﷺ said, don't do that. Don't go so far when it comes to ibadah. Take it easy. But be consistent. Be consistent. So let's get our mind set. Inshallah, we will pray and hope that this Ramadan will be a changing point in our time. And inshallah, the days we'll spend after Ramadan, the years we'll spend after Ramadan will be better because we have a plan and Ramadan comes to help us to achieve this plan. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. ثم أما بعد. I usually get my khutbah on my tablet, but for some reason the internet is not helping, so khutbah did not come up. So, Wi-Fi. Alhamdulillah. But I just want to, before we end, just to make a quick point regarding these holidays. All of our students are home today because this is a Good Friday and Sunday is the holiest day in Christianity. Day of resurrection, that they believe that Isa alayhi salam resurrected from the dead on that day, 3 days after his crucifixion. But apart from our theological differences, one must think about Christianity as a religion. Why Christianity is the first or the most popular religion on earth? That's a reality. If you add Catholics and Protestant and all other denominations, number-wise, Christianity is the largest religion on earth. And why is that? I think we should ask this question. Why Islam also is a global religion? And people find something good in Christianity. You cannot, when you see people from different cultures, regions, races, ethnicities, like one thing, that does not happen every day. This means this one thing has something unique that makes people, despite their differences, like one thing. And some actually likes to give an example of Coca-Cola. You know, people everywhere in the world, they like it. There must be something good about it. We can discuss what it is, but there's something that makes this something acceptable to so many different people. Christianity did not spread and was accepted because of the Crusaders, or Inquisition in Andalusia. It's not because of this physical power, but because Christianity emerged in the time when dhulm, ignorance, fighting and wars were the norm. And because of Isa alayhi salam, his teaching what's known as the Sermon of the Mount. Very similar to the Khutbah al-Wada' of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was surrounded by almost 100,000 of his Sahaba radiallahu anhu, and he gave the beautiful farewell speech or farewell hajj. And similar to the sermon that Isa alayhi salam gave, known as the Sermon of the Mount, Maw'idat al-Jabal in Arabic. And when you see what Isa said and what Muhammad said alayhi salatu wasalam, you see that they are speaking the same language, the same ethical values and principles. Love your enemies. Pray for those who curse you. Love for others what you love for yourself. Treat people as you want them to treat you. Do not be judgmental so that people don't judge you. Don't be critical to others so that they don't criticize you. Don't look down at those who commit sins. Pray for them, help them. Give the poor and the needy. Share your wealth and blessings. That's what made Christianity very popular. People find something good about it. It's not violence, it's not the sword, it's not killing. This is what made Christianity popular. And when you look exactly at what Isa and Musa and Muhammad said, it's identical, almost identical. Again, apart from the theological differences, the teaching of Isa as it is written in the Bible, it is similar to what Muhammad ﷺ said. He advised people that you need not to focus on the sins and the mistakes of others. Think about yourself. Why would you magnify the faults of your brother and forget about yourself? Don't do that. Don't be nice only to those who are nice to you. When someone takes your money, don't ask them for it. Let go. Give and forgive. That's the teaching of Isa alayhi salam, which is similar to the teaching of Muhammad and Ibrahim and Musa. May Allah send His peace and blessing upon all of them. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم إنا نسألك رزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. اللهم إنا نسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين. إذا أردت بعبادك فتنة فاقبضنا إليك غير فاتنين ولا مفتونين يا رب العالمين. اللهم بلغنا رمضان، اللهم بلغنا رمضان، اللهم بلغنا رمضان، واجعلنا فيه من المقبولين الفائزين يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار. اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة وما قرب إليها من قول وعمل ونعوذ بك من النار وما قرب إليها من قول وعمل. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وشفاء من كل داء ونسألك الغنى عن الناس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اكفنا بحلالك عن حرامك وأغننا بفضلك عمن سواك. اللهم إنا نعوذ برضاك من سخطك وبمعافاتك من عقوبتك وبك منك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك تبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك. اللهم اشفنا واشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين وارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين وانصر الإسلام وعز المسلمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أقم الصلاة.